Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope y'all having a wonderful day today. We're gonna be checking out a video here. It's from a gentleman named Decoy Voice. I watched a few of his videos. Y'all should check him out. He's cool. He put some good humor, and he's real quick about his videos and stuff too. He put this out about this last incident with Trump, and I was gonna look at it and figured I'd watch this one with y'all. It's not that long, 8 minutes here. So yeah, let's check this out, y'all.
President Donald Trump was out on an unexpected golf trip when some loser hiding in the bushes with a GoPro, ceramic plates, and a defaced SKS attempted.
If it seems like I'm looking different, y'all, I have my monitor up here went out, so I'm using a little one down here that I'm actually watching.
To ambush him, but luckily the Secret Service saw him.
Hey y'all, seriously, on this right here, I mean, it kind of does look like one, but couldn't this little slot right here, couldn't that pass as maybe being one of the 22 ones? I mean, it does look like it's too big, like it is a 7.62 or whatever it is they take. I forget.
But luckily, the Secret Service saw him setting up, opened fire, and when he fled, the local Florida sheriffs were able to arrest him alive.
That's the first time I believe anybody... Yeah, I think that's the first time any presidential assassination attempt or fail, the person has ever been caught alive.
Trump later greeted and personally thanked the deputies for capturing his would-be assassin, and then went on a Twitter Spaces with his son.
He didn't exactly hit the target.
They did only find the person, though. It was a coincidence that another person saw the dude leaving, and they took a picture of his license plate, like a civilian.
The way he wanted. There's something going on. I mean, perhaps it's God wanting me to be president to save this country.
Now, there's a lot of stories branching off as to how this happened, why this happened, and more importantly, who made this happen, as the Florida sheriff has valid concerns.
How does a guy from not here get all the way to Trump International?
He's from Hawaii.
The president, former president of the United States, is golfing, and he's able to get a rifle in that vicinity. Is this guy part of a conspiracy?
Governor Ron DeSantis didn't want to hand off the investigation to the feds.
In my judgment, it's not in the best interest of our state or our nation to have the same federal agencies that are seeking to prosecute Donald Trump leading this investigation, especially when the...
I kind of agree with that, but also that is kind of a federal matter, though, not state. I guess he could do his own for state, but yeah.
Most serious, straightforward offense constitutes a violation of state law, but not federal law.
But as of yesterday, the suspect has only been charged with offenses related to the weapon in his possession. And again, the more we know about this incident, the more questions we have, as nothing really makes sense, especially about the suspect himself. Now, we do walk the fine line between discussing newsworthy information and...
The charges, until they can absolutely prove like what he was doing, they're just throwing charges at him so he can't leave. I mean, we all know that game. If you ever been in trouble, you know that one.
Not immortalizing some idiot that thought committing this crime was going to make his life important. So let's just give a brief synopsis of the suspicious circumstances around the suspect, how the powers that be can mislead some loser into thinking this will give him some sort of positive legacy, but more importantly, why we need to stop this. As back in 2018, he was interviewed by the news over flooding in Hawaii, where the streets were clear, but he gave them a shot of him rowing a boat in his lawn. Several years later, he was being interviewed by Semaphore and even Newsweek, as there are conflicting reports, but most saw him as a U.S. mercenary.
Hey, y'all, do y'all remember this? this video, when they re-showed it, for some reason, it felt familiar. It's like I seen this one before. Like he was one of the ones that was real big about showing a video about going over there to the Ukraine.
A boat in his lawn. Several years later, he was being interviewed by Semaphore and even Newsweek, as there are conflicting reports, but most saw him as a US mercenary that was recruiting refugees to fight in Ukraine, who apparently had a lot of funds to fly around from Hawaii to DC, all the way to Kyiv, allegedly offering people $1,200 a month to fight as his mercenary. And even though he was a convicted felon from 2002 for having a WMD, he somehow was still able to get an SKS, knowing exactly where to set up on the president.
Hold on. What the fuck? WMD. Only thing I know of WMD is a weapon of mass destruction. Is that what he's talking about? Like, he had a... What did he have? Damn, $400 a week? 4, 8, 12... No, wait, $300 a week? Per person?
$1,200 a month to fight as his mercenary, and even though he was a convicted felon from 2002 for having a WMD, he somehow was still able to get an SKS, knowing exactly where to set up on the president in a so-called...
Y'all might want to skip forward for just a second. I'm going to jump back here and read this spot, see if it tells me what it is. Oh, okay.
For having a WMD, he somehow was still able to get an SKS, knowing exactly where to set up on the president in a so-called last-minute golf outing that nobody knew about, but somehow he knew to be there 12 hours in advance. Now, I'm not going to sit here and strap on my tinfoil hat available at decoyvoice.com, as honestly, I simply don't trust any information coming out about anything. Sure, we have citizen journalists compiling all this information on X, but the official story keeps changing by the minute. First, he had an AK with metal plates and exchanged fire with the Secret Service. Okay, maybe it was just an SKS and never got off a round, but he was a Republican. No, he was a centrist that swayed his affiliation, so let's just wipe out all his social media.
Okay, he must be doing that intentional, because he's jumping back and forth between them, so there must be something I don't know that I haven't heard.
Sites so nobody can verify how much he aligned with the Democrats. As yes, all that looks bad, but the biggest red flag, at least to me, is how much the mainstream media is defending him, downplaying the information that actually implicates themselves.
I kind of agree with that. I personally don't care if they from the right or the left. These people are extremists. You know, the irony is we call them extremists here. But if they're not in this country, you know we call them terrorists.
Implicates themselves. As time spin is, he had an unclear political ideology, despite the Biden-Harris bumper sticker on his truck, his alleged constant donations to the Democrat Party, and long history of supporting Biden on social media, where he parrots Biden's exact lines of, "Democracy is on the ballot."
We must be clear, democracy is on the ballot.
So why wouldn't he also agree with Biden here?
And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Trump is a threat to this nation.
Or Biden here.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Or the time Biden said Trump is a threat to the...
Hey, at least Biden actually called us the right thing that time, a republic.
The nation months ago, saying Trump and his supporters are a threat 2 years ago. Or
that was disrespectful of me. President Biden.
Trump is a threat to the nation months ago, saying Trump and his supporters are a threat 2 years ago, or how his replacement echoes those same statements. So much that after Trump called out how this rhetoric almost ended his life,
I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me.
He actually posted a long list of the many times Democrats have said this. But no, the media claims that Trump brings these attempts on himself, how the suspect was a crusader for many causes, that he had a sense of duty and was a super citizen. We've known...
Crusader. Hold up. That looks like a flaming fucking moron. That dude is almost 60. That dude right there, I think, was 56 years old now. That's not no fighter. That's a... the kind you put in jail.
On himself, how the suspect was a crusader for many causes, that he had a sense of duty and was a super citizen. We've known for a fact
he shouldn't have built a pipe bomb, maybe joined the military.
That the type of person that commits these terrible crimes are oftentimes people that are looking for a legacy, and if the media constantly paints a politician at best a danger to democracy, then at worst literally Hitler, and then if some maniac listens to that and then goes after that person, they paint them as a crusader and super citizen. I genuinely believe this is the media's fault, as they know exactly what they're doing and they simply...
I don't think it's fully what they're meaning to do, personally. At least that's how I want to think. But it's probably 85%. Scream loud enough and long enough, it all becomes the truth. And also, most people these days only read headlines. And you can't go around calling somebody that... well, anybody for real, something so over the top. Can they trash talk them? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. But they've went a little too far. And they say how he does, but he makes jokes about their names. Sleepy Joe. Comrade Kamala. But it's just stuff like that. He's not going around saying they're Adolf Hitler. And he's just going to take over everything. Especially when there's so many freaking clips of him literally saying the opposite. People hate him so much that they say, why don't you condemn this? And then he condemns it. And they call him a fucking liar.
Simply refuse to stop. As a press secretary said this today.
Claimed without evidence that their rhetoric is causing him to be, quote, shot at. How is the White House responding to it?
The president has also said when it comes to, violent rhetoric, we got to bring the temperature down.
It
but
did.
Seconds after, went right back into the same rhetoric.
President Biden has...
Hey, she did, though. As far as I know, President Biden has not said anything since the very first assassination attempt. He's not spoke out like how everybody is. Like he did. He really did drop what, like how he was speaking.
Has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy.
Then MSNBC keeps leaning into how dangerous he is.
This is dangerous. This is a threat to people. And at the same time we denounce what apparently has happened as a threat to Donald Trump, we should denounce what is apparently a threat to blacks.
A has-been CNN anchor parrots the same thing.
If Donald Trump wants Kamala Harris and others to say...
It's like they forget he was president for 4 years already.
To stop saying that he is a threat to democracy, then he should stop threatening democracy.
And even Hillary is back.
Everybody that thinks that we're a democracy, please, 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 please do your own research, please. I'm not going to sit here and fully go into it, but we are not. We're a constitutional republic. We don't even have democracy, period, at all. It's not in our country. We are a republic because we allow people to represent for us. We have a democratic way of electing them, meaning the people get to vote. That's not democracy. Democracy, it's a nice fucking word for socialism, and socialism leads to communism. Communism falls, turns into socialism again. Socialism builds back to communism.
back at it.
Well, the object in this case is Donald.
And I ain't speaking out the name of her. No. Hell no.
Trump, his demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world.
But also, curiously goes after free speech at the same time.
But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence.
So out of the 3 people that went after Trump, we know why at least one of them did it. And instead of the media taking their own advice and, quote, lowering the temperature of our political climate, they literally can't go seconds without seemingly encouraging the next attempt. Combine that with them saying why President Trump had limited security.
You got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery. So when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right? And
that's stupid as shit.
That he is at right now, he's not the city president.
Look, Donald Trump has got fucking ops, man. He's got ops. Real ones. Not these little fake bullshit like you be hearing. He got real ops. If y'all ain't vote for him, something wrong. I'm just saying. That's clear to show that he is a massive threat to somebody. You don't have fucking ops unless you a fucking danger. This guy's stupid. I have been trained in the streets. That's stupid. That is fucking beyond stupid. You sweep the area beforehand. The entire fucking area. You have people out in front. Sweeping again. Ahead of them. Which they did, but they didn't have them in the bushes. There was no one on the outside of the fence. Look, every rifle shoots at least 300 to 500 fucking yards. Okay? All rifles. There are many more that shoot fucking further. There's a little bit ironic to this too, y'all. His weapon of choice was an AK-47. He went over to the Ukraine back in 2016. That was the year that Donald Trump was elected. Now, what's the weapon of choice over there back in 2016? And if he was going to be radicalized, it would be done by organizations. And they use AK-47s. Maths.
Right now, he's not the city president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it.
And that World War III might impact their efforts next time.
There could be another geopolitical event that could put the United States into a kinetic conflict or some other issue that may result in additional responsibilities and protectees of the United States Secret Service.
I don't know about you guys, but I just want things to settle down, because nothing would endanger democracy if we as a country just let democracy take place. Stop letting the TV rile you up about what might happen if someone wins the election, when everybody that can vote has lived in both Trump's America and Kamala's America. Yep. I can't determine which administration was better for you personally. I'll just encourage you to make sure you're registered to vote at vote.gov and put the link in the description. And hopefully you can convince someone in your life that never votes to actually cast a ballot this election. And if absolutely everybody does it just one time, I imagine we'll see a landslide victory. And if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on how Kamala Harris's interview went so horrendously, the media had to remix her answers.
Got him. He already won my sub a while back. I'm going to leave a link down into this down into the description. Down in the description, there'll be a link to him and this video itself. If y'all want to watch that up through yourself, because it is a shorter video and I kind of made it kind of long. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, he's speaking truth there. Make sure that you do vote if you can, and if you want to, of course. It's all up to you. But that is one of our greatest rights that we have, is our ability to vote. So just check out what you think. Find the person that's going to benefit you and your family with policies and stuff, and head that direction. Don't let no one ever try to tell you who to vote for or anything like that. Do what is better for you with policy-wise. If we all do that, that is actually what the entire voting is meant for. That's why there's an electoral college. It's just how everything fits together. Hey, y'all, much love and respect. I will... Oh, let me get me the button over here. Much love and respect. I'll catch y'all later on.